Hey guys, what's going on? My name's Akil. Welcome back to another review, guys. This is actually my first Netflix review, guys. Yeah, I know, right? Pretty crazy when you really think about it. But because there hasn't really been a lot of new releases I've seen this year, I thought I'd make it up to you guys and actually talk about something that came out on Netflix recently. And that is The Devil All the Time. It came out on Wednesday, and I got to see yesterday on Thursday. And it was a pretty interesting movie, guys. So I'm just gonna jump right into it. So to start off with, for my pre-rating score, I'm gonna say that it was a good movie. The Devil at the Time was definitely a good film. Wasn't great or spectacular like I thought it was gonna be, but still, it was actually quite good. All right, now let's talk about the story without really spoiling anything. It's based off a book. It's narrated by the author who actually wrote the book, so that's interesting. And it's about this guy called Irvin, and he kind of has a stepsister. They grew up in the same household. His dad came back from the war, and I can't remember what war it was, but yeah. So his dad kind of teaches you some life lessons along the way and all type of stuff. And there's family tragedy, there's love, there's loss, there's there's greed, there's crime, there's corruption, there's brutality, as it says in the Netflix like description and all that. It's just a crazy story, guys. So there's a lot of characters in this movie, all the big names that you might recognize and all that. But really, the story is about this guy called Irvin, played by Tom Holland, and when he's younger, he sees that like he learns life lessons from his father, and all type of stuff, like making sure that you fight back when someone attacks you, and all type of stuff instead of getting beaten up. We've all had this life lesson obviously before, but not in the way that this film tells it. And stuff happens, and there's a preacher involved, photographer, and the sheriff, and that's all I really want to say without spoiling this movie, guys. I know it's not really a great description, but that's all I really want to say about it. So yeah, now let's talk about the positives, because that definitely are things that I liked over things I didn't like. So to start off with, the first major positive is that the acting in this movie is actually quite good. Not Oscar worthy by any means necessary. However, there are three performances that stick out: Tom Holland, Robert Pattinson, and Bill Skarsgård. Tom Holland, obviously the main character in the movie, when he's on screen, he's so great, so raw, and his accent is on point. Like, it's great to see Tom Holland obviously playing another American character, but not Spidey. This is different, and this is probably my favorite. Well, I can't really say favorite performance, but this is, I would say, right up there with him playing Spider Man as a great performance. Robert Pattinson also. This guy is just like showing people and proving people he's not just Edward Cullen from Twilight. So yeah, but he's just great. He really really is. I thought him as this preacher guy, big crazy character. No spoilers, but he was great in the movie. And also, Bill Skarsgård, Pennywise himself playing Tom Holland's dad in the movie. It's just great. Also, fun fact: Bill Skarsgård is only 29 years old. I don't know when he's 30. Maybe he's turning 30 at the end this year. I can't remember. But when I watched that, he was 29 years old. So yeah, not bad. Another major positive was the music. I really enjoyed the music, guys. I like that they used the same piece of music from the trailer and put it into the film, kind of like as a main theme, and it was just great. And finally, the story. The story of this movie was actually quite good and very different to what I was expecting. I thought it was about, I about like this preacher and all that type of stuff. But the story in this movie is very unique. It's not like just the title speaks for itself, yes, but once you watch a movie, you're like, oh, okay, it's about family tragedy and all that. There is that in there too, but all these characters combined make for one very interesting story that has life lessons along the way and all that. There's Christian themes in this movie, but overall it's a very different story. So I really did quite like the story. It was very different to what I was expecting. And I'm curious to know how many of you have actually read the book and did it live up to your expectations if you have. Alright, now let's talk about the negatives. As always, because it's a good film, free negatives, but there are definitely things in this movie that do really stick out. One in particular is that the movie definitely felt a bit messy. It definitely did. It was hard at times to latch on to certain characters and all that, and we'll get into that in uh, a bit. But really, this movie did feel a little bit messy at times. I'm not gonna lie. There was more of this character, less of this character, and all that. So yeah. Speaking of which, another negative is that we could have spent more time with some characters, like Tom Holland. While he's the lead actor in the film, as in the poster and all type of stuff, he's not in the movie as much as I thought he was, which I understand why, but still, even then, I would have preferred him over some of these other characters. Nothing against the actors and their performances and the characters. It's just that I thought his story was the most interesting. I'm just saying, and all that. However, there are some other interesting characters and all that. So yeah, I definitely wish some characters had more to do in this movie, like Sebastian Stan's character, and all that. I thought Jason Clarke and Riley Cole, I can't pronounce their last name. Those characters were in the movie for quite a bit, and that's surprising. But Sebastian Stan could have been in the movie more and all that. And that's all I'll say for that. And lucky was for negatives, I wanted a shorter opening. The first 30 minutes of this movie were like so dragged out. Like Bill Skarsgård was in this movie for a lot more than I think he should have been in. But then again, it's to establish that relationship between father and son. If it was just at least 5 or 10 minutes shorter, like at least the first 20 minutes were dedicated to that. Like look at Up. I know Up's a shorter movie, but they did Up so beautifully. Not do a montage, but do something like Up. Not make the whole like almost first act of the film feel like it's a father son film when it's supposed to be a little more than that. But still, even then, I wish the opening was shorter. They could have done it a little bit better. And that's all I'll say for this movie for negatives. So overall, as a final score, 7 out of 10 for The Devil All the Time. Good movie, not great, not spectacular, but still good in general. I do recommend it if you're into this type of thing. And yeah, I definitely do recommend it if you have also read the book, because I'm curious to know how you guys would feel about this version of the story. Is it a good adaptation? Is it a great one? Is it a meh okay one? Or is it just a bad terrible one in general? I expected a little more from this movie, but I still got what I wanted in terms of the acting, in terms of story, and the music worked pretty well and all that. I don't want to get super technical because nothing was in terms of the technicality and all that about the film didn't blow me away like the way back with the directing and all that. But overall, good movie, not great, just good in general. Kind of like Mulan, which is kind of disappointing, but overall it was a good film, and that's all I really wanted. So there you have it, guys. My review for The Devil All the Time, which is out now on Netflix and all that. Also, Friends and is on Netflix and Binge, the Australian streaming service here in Australia. So if you have that, do check it out. If you're a Friends fan, I'll just say that. Next month, get ready for my Scream series. Also, Harry Potter and Deathly Hallows Part 1. Definitely looking forward to checking those out and doing reviews of those. Until then, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, The Comic Director. My name is Gil, otherwise known as The Comic Director, and I'm signing out.